Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is a sponsored video, sponsored by Carol for Sydney. And this is Sydney's story, and she also has an audio file attached. Ollie, first off, as possible, I need a sponsor. It's okay to use names. Mine is Cindy. Monty is now my ex-narcissist. I've been trying to figure out what to write to accompany the audio of my ex. I wrote to you a few months ago. I was new to the channel. Just learned about narcissism. Realized what I was up against. I got out. Moved from Michigan to California. There's one thing about narcs that is something I've heard time and time again. You'll lose everything. Well, they ride off into the sunset. He's now in Oklahoma with the new girlfriend. I'm living with my dad trying to start a new life. Haven't even found a job yet. Left my car, job, everything in Michigan. After everything he's put me through, why do I still cry? Why is my heart aching? I know the person he pretended to be wasn't real. I don't know how to get over this. I'm not 100% innocent. I was addicted to pain pills for 15 years. Right before I moved, he said he knew I needed help, but he was not man enough and too selfish to tell me I needed help. He liked things just the way they were. Well, I would question if he was on pills as well. I worked 7 days a week to pay for my pills. He paid the bills. I was never forced to get into rehab because he made it too easy. I'm not blaming him, but if he knew I was addicted, why just keep paying the bills and letting me spend my money on pills? Because it was easier for him to get away with whatever he was getting away with, keeping you doped up and drugged up and out of the house 7 days a week. Let him probably lead the childlike life he always wanted to. I wish he had put his foot down and said he would not keep funding my addiction. But then his chef, maid, sex partner, anytime he wanted, etc., wouldn't be at his beck and call anytime he wanted. We lived together for 6 miserable months after we broke up. I truly thought that it was a temporary breakup like many before. I know this isn't a healthy relationship. Well, wasn't. Keep forgetting that is over. In my heart, he's my Monty. I'm not someone who had a string of narc exes. I'm still friends with all my exes. Big red flag I ignored. Every one of his exes hates him. So I know this is toxic. I know I deserve more than I settled for. There's so many questions I need to ask you. I have to ask you, what's with the keeping the exes? See, there's more to your story than you realize, because keeping ex-boyfriends in your life is kind of a red flag the other way. Okay? It's kind of a way to tell him, I have other options as well. So, keeping you addicted on pills, you understand? You keeping these men in your life, these exes in your life, probably gave him all the justification he needed to keep you pilled up, because otherwise, you got all these exes you're hanging around with all the time. I'm sure there's accusations flying. So in his mind, you give him all the justification he needs to keep you a mental slave, to keep you a physical slave, to keep you doped up and under his control. I have absolutely no one to talk to, have no friends. The people in Michigan dealt with watching me turn into a shell of my former self. My dad, he's just recently begun being a huge part of my life. It helps for a girl to hear her once absent father tell her how beautiful, smart, and wonderful she is. It is helping me deal with this tremendously. I'm actively looking for a job. Once I get one, I don't have many bills to pay here, so I can send my own donations for each letter I send. This audio was from our 6 months of living together while broken up. There's a lot of backstory I want to ask you about. 8 years of being single, then meeting him. I was raising my kids, and once they were grown and close to moving out, I met Monty. I thought I waited and was being smart by not settling for the first guy I met. I truly thought I had met the love of my life. He was the first man I ever loved. I'm so sad. I think I'll feel much better once I find a job. See, here's the question I gotta ask you. If you already had kids and they're already grown, now I understand, believe me, I understand how people can become addicted later on in life. Okay, but I have to ask you, and you said you're not 100% innocent here. I have to ask you about your own narcissism issues in your own life. Because what you're telling me here is that you had all these exes, but now you have no friends after leaving. So what happened to these exes? So they really weren't staying exes. They really weren't friends after a relationship, because once you left, they're not around anymore. Are they? So what were they really after? What are they really after? You know, he's the first man you ever loved. I'm wondering if these exes felt that way about you. And now there's a little role reversal here with this guy. That's what could be happening here. I mean, you're gonna have to look at yourself, because you said you're not 100% innocent, and I think that probably has to be drilled down a little deeper. But I just don't know how to get over this, how to make it to the next step and try to start to forget about him, especially since I know he's not who I thought he was. I've listened to this and I can't help but to ask, am I the narcissist? Look, like, I'm already seeing the red flags in your story. Okay, at least you're coming to me. So we're going to listen to this audio and we're going to find out. I guess because it's not the whole argument, so it's hard to tell. Hopefully the audio came through. It's just labeled as number 1. I truly appreciate the work you do. I was debating trying to find a counselor, but I seem to think that you are helping people more than a counselor can, because you're honest. And most of all, you understand what this toxic abusive bullshit really is. I hope, like the others say, that once I hear this, I will start to feel better. I just need to be validated. I know I'm not crazy. He really is. I hope, like others say, that once I hear this, I just need to be validated to know that I'm not crazy. He heard me once watching a video about narcs. Then he started calling me a narcissist. Really? When he wouldn't even have taken the time to look at it and look into it. I know you are, but what am I? Oh, I know you are, but what am I bullshit. Thanks again, Ollie. I'm so scared I will never feel any better than this. Sydney. So on to the audio. I didn't even test the levels. Here we go.
I'm doing it here. Or you can find somebody else to stay with.
Okay.
You're not going to do it in here.
Monty, I told you I would give you whatever money you wanted.
Just shut the fuck up and don't tell me not to stay in here.
Alright, he's an out of control bitch. Regardless of whether you have narcissism issues or not, he's a borderline out of control, probably bisexual dude. I'm telling you. I know I know this shit. I can tell just by the inflection and the out of control rage pitch in his voice. This is a dude who was probably raised primarily by women, thinks like a woman, reacts like a woman, is emotional like a woman. Okay, and I'm sure he has sexuality issues.
I'm
And I can say what I can't say. You don't worry about me hitting you, you ain't worth it.
Then walk away. Don't be.
This is my apartment. I can go wherever the fuck I want here.
Don't get in my face. You got a knife in your hand.
Exactly. What kind of bitch over the
He's got a knife in it. Okay, he's got a knife in his hand, like a crazed housewife. You're dating a woman in a man's body here. This is an emotional woman in a man's body. What you're dealing with.
Why?
Why would you hate me? Why? Why are you?
Because I fucking can't stand you, and you're here.
Sorry.
You're
don't
gas.
think
All right.
fucking
Well, you know what? You're baiting him there with the sorry. So there's some give and take going here. He's standing there with a knife, and you're still goading him. That tells me you don't really take him seriously. You didn't take his knife threat seriously. If you're gonna stand there, tell him not to get in your face with a knife, and then gaslight him right there.
Go get me evicted. Okay,
Well, talk shit about
do
me,
you
but
want
you
money?
don't.
Okay, well then
I'd rather you go.
then go evict me, and then go evict me.
Yeah, exactly. Just like a fucking narcissist.
No, because you know what? You're not gonna sit here and talk to me like this. Go take the tag if that makes you feel better. I'm not arguing with you. Just gonna sit here and I'm gonna put it on pause while he's outside taking the tag off the car.
Fucking kind of game. Either you pay me my fucking money for my rent, or you won't get this, and I'm calling the insurance in. So let's see how far you get on
Okay,
that
well
car.
then I'm not gonna be able to give you anything then.
Well, then that's
Sounds like he's trying to take things away. Like, apparently, look, this is an emotional, borderline, narcissistic meltdown rage. You're not helping matters much. And it's obviously better that you are far, far away. But you're going to have to do some self-reflection on yourself here. Okay? Because you're not reacting like a typical victim. You're acting like you're feeding the monster here.
not my problem.
Well, then that's your.
And guess what? Then I'll get what I want because you'll be the fuck out of here.
You got it.
You're not being nice.
Then I'm not giving you any money.
Since you want to be petty, then we're going to be petty.
Who's being petty, Monty? You're starting it. Just leave me alone.
Sit here and just go. Get the fuck out.
I don't have to. I don't have to.
Look, you're going to have a real hard time convincing people that this guy, look, I can hear in his voice what he is. I don't think you realize how much danger you are in here. Okay? You're hucking rocks at a tiger, and you don't realize that tiger can get out of its fucking pen. You're playing with fire, and it's gonna get you hurt one day because you don't realize what you're fucking with right here. And make no mistake about it, Sydney, you're clearly fucking with him here. Not that he's not a narcissist, not that he's not out of control, not that he's not abusive, okay? But you are fucking with him here.
Destroy this license plate.
Destroy the license plate, Monty. Whatever makes you feel better. God, forgive me. Yes, bring up God. Bring up God.
Carmen, you got shit all over the fucking floor like you got it like that. Don't want to buy no fucking food in here, don't want to do nothing.
I never know when you're gonna be here to buy food.
It don't matter.
Yes,
It don't matter whether
I'm
I'm
about
fucking
to
being here or
waste
not. This is my apartment. What apartment
It's
you
my
in?
apartment too until you have me evicted. I'm not playing any game.
So he's had you actually evicted and you're still there fucking with him? You're going to get yourself, you're lucky you didn't get yourself hurt. Not that he would have been justified to do it, obviously not. But like I told you before, you didn't realize what you were fucking with here.
I'm not going anyway. I don't know what way you want me to go.
I guarantee you when I bring you here, you'll go.
Monty?
I guarantee you when I bring this bitch in here, this big bitch in here.
Oh, bring her in
Yes,
here. Bring her in
I
here.
bet you you'll
Bring her
go.
in here.
I bet you she'll force you to go.
Bring her in. No, she won't because I'll call the police and they won't make me go.
Listen.
So there.
You are gaslighting him. You are nuts to do this. And here's the thing. He's clearly borderline. He's clearly out of control. He's clearly dangerous. Okay? But this is about you not realizing the danger you're in. and you're clearly sitting there goading him, you would have a very, very, very hard time playing this to somebody who doesn't understand narcissism and not being accused of doing like, it would be all on you. I understand what's going on here. I understand, but from the limited what you told me about your history with your exes and him and all, this isn't good, and you really need to get into what's causing this in you, because you're not realizing how much danger you were in there.
Mommy, you don't scare me anymore. You don't scare me anymore. None of your big bitches scare me anymore either. Nothing you can do can scare me anymore. Monty, you're the lowlife. You don't scare me anymore because I have no feelings. So I don't, it means nothing. I'm laying here because I can. Because I can.
You didn't even find this apartment, I did.
I can lay here because it's my apartment.
Why are you like mocking him? Like, you have a hard time convincing people you're afraid of this guy, Sydney.
Just like a drug.
Yes, oh yes. Well, you know what? I haven't been on drugs in 2 months now. I'm a drug addict and you're a narcissist. So what?
No life ass.
I'm an addict, but at least I got help for that.
I'm glad I got
Oh, break more stuff.
in my way.
I don't care.
That's how we gonna do.
Mommy, see, the thing is, people mean
I don't care.
People mean
Shut the
things
fuck
to
up.
you.
I don't care if I talk over everything.
That's
Shut
okay.
up.
I don't care.
Just shut up.
It doesn't mean anything to me.
Just shut up.
And that's the end. You are lucky you didn't get hurt with this guy. You are lucky. Okay? And if you want my opinion, I think you're past with your men, that you had all these men who would still hang around after you broke up with you, got into your head. Okay, and it didn't work with this guy. Okay, this isn't how this guy goes. This isn't how he rolls. He's emotional. He's borderline. He probably has sexuality issues. I could hear it in his voice. That still doesn't mean you weren't fucking with him. And you were absolutely fucking with him. And one day you're going to fuck with the wrong person like that. And they're going to do some damage you're not going to be able to walk away from. Not that it's justified. Ever. It's not. I'm just giving you the reality of the situations you're putting yourself in. Because if you get yourself into that situation, whether or not it's justified or not isn't going to matter as he's crushing your head. Is it? Because it's the reality of your actions. So, I have no doubt whatsoever that this guy's a borderline, he's dangerous, all of that. Okay? But you need to drill down into your history. How is it you didn't love anybody until him and then you fell head over heels? Meanwhile, you got all these exes that you're supposedly still friends with, not no more. And then you wonder why he would support you working 7 days a week to support a drug habit and zombify yourself. You gave him every excuse in his mind to do it. So, I really hope you get into these issues on yourself, because that's where this all goes. Because you didn't realize how much danger you were in. He could have crossed that line and snapped and hurt or killed you at any second. And all your smugness, all your snarky little comebacks, all your sing-song delivery like that. It's funny until it crosses a line. And then it doesn't matter. what's justified or not, because the reality is he's going to be crushing. He's going to be crushing your face. So I hope that helps. I really do. So thank you to Carol for sponsoring. Thank you, Sydney, for sending in the audio and the story. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comments section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook live chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it growing, successful, and expanding, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here, you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been The Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.